fats. They are so confusing. What is good and what is not? Choose to use good fat or unsaturated fats in your cooking. Reduce saturated fat and stay far away from bad or trans fat. Good unsaturated fats are monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, and they keep you healthier, keep your weight in check, and lower the risk of disease. Foods which are high in good fats include vegetable, nut, seed, and fish oil. And some great ones would be sesame, canola, rapeseed, and olive. So what are good fats? There are 3 types of good fats. Unsaturated fats, which are liquid at room temperature and have many benefits, such as improving blood cholesterol levels, reducing inflammation, having cardiac benefits, and many more. These oils are mainly procured from plants, such as canola and olive, found in avocado, nuts, and seeds. There are 2 types of good unsaturated fats: monounsaturated fats and polyunsaturated fats. Now, omega-3 fat is a really important type of polyunsaturated fat, and since the body isn't able to manufacture it, it has to come from food. Some ideal sources of omega-3 are fatty fish like salmon, tuna, mackerel, flax seeds, walnuts, and canola oil. Most people don't really consume enough healthy unsaturated fats. The American Heart Association suggests that 8 to 10% of our daily calories must come from polyunsaturated fats. There is evidence that eating more polyunsaturated fat, and that means up to about 15% of one's daily calories, in place of saturated fat, can considerably lower the incidence of heart disease. On the other hand, saturated fats. So, all food containing fat do have a mix of specific types of fats. Even the healthier foods like chicken and nuts have small quantities of saturated fat, though much less than the amounts that are found in beef and cheese. Saturated fat is mainly found in animal foods, but a few plant foods also are high in saturated fat, such as coconut oil, palm oil, and palm kernel oil. It's recommended that saturated fat consumption be limited to no more than 7% of the calories that you consume on a daily basis. Though decades of dietary advice have suggested saturated fat was harmful, in more recent years, that idea has begun to be questioned and to be microscoped. Currently, it finds itself in a gray area. While this is still work in progress, I am sure the verdict on it will be out soon. But for the time being, suffice it to say that the overarching message is still that cutting back on saturated fat can be very good for health, especially so if people switch the saturated fat with good fats, especially polyunsaturated fats. Doing this would lower the bad LDL cholesterol and improve the ratio of total cholesterol to good HDL cholesterol, thereby reducing the risk of cardiac disease. It can also help prevent insulin resistance, which is a precursor to diabetes. So, while saturated fat may not be as harmful as was once considered to be, evidence clearly shows that unsaturated fat remains the go-to as the healthiest type of fat to consume. Now, on the other hand, trans fats. Trans fats are made by heating liquid vegetable oils in the presence of hydrogen gas and a catalyst. This process is called hydrogenation. It converts the liquid oil into a solid, and that helps in the making of margarine or shortening. Partially hydrogenated oils can withstand repeated heating without breaking down. And this makes them ideal for frying fast foods. As a result, partially hydrogenated oils become the norm in the restauranting business and in the food industry for frying, for processed snack items, like making margarine and so on. Partially hydrogenated oil is not the only source of trans fat in our diet. Trans fats are also found naturally in beef fat and dairy fat in small quantities. So these are the worst type of fat for the heart, the blood vessels, and the rest of the body, because they increase bad LDL and reduce good HDL. They cause inflammation, affecting the immunity, which is a contributor to diabetes, heart disease, strokes, and many other chronic conditions. This also contributes to insulin resistance and can have a very harmful effect on the health overall, even in small quantities. For each additional 2% of calories from trans fat, which is consumed on a daily basis, remember that the risk of coronary heart disease that you run increases by the amount, as large an amount as 23%. 23%. Make wiser choices. Your health is really in your own hands. Stay well and safe.